I was driving out one night deep in the sticks. Through a patch of dead air, the monotony of the road and the static of my car's radio lulled me as my eyes felt heavier and heavier. Staring up at the stars through drooping eyes, and my ears were pierced by a deafening sound emanating from the radios. Like this cacophony of human screams. So many people begging for help. I veered to the side of the road, completely caught off guard, and just as it had come, it ended, leaving me in near silence as the radio just quietly hummed. I went home that night, and as I lay there unable to sleep, I thought about what had happened. Wondered if I had picked up a stray signal from someone who needed help. The next day I went back to the spot, guided by the screaming that projected from the radio. I'd come prepared in case someone out there was injured. I also brought a portable radio, determined to find the signal and find its source, So I did. I followed it as it got louder and louder until I reached its source. This large hole in the ground. I could hear soft cries coming from within. Horrified, I now knew someone was injured down there. And I had to help him, right? So I tied a rope to a nearby tree and I began my descent into its depths. The cave was humid, it was wet. Water was dripping down from the ceiling. The air was filled with this metallic smell like corroded pennies, right? Breeze ran through the cave, carrying with it an orchestral symphony of agony. I began to walk deeper when I walked on something that clinked. There's a set of keys with a tag. It read, Apartment Building 426. It's all by this address. From a city I knew that didn't exist. As I walked deeper in, I soon found where the screams and moans of agony were coming from. It was I don't know, at least a dozen people fused into the walls, the ceiling, the floor of the cave. One man completely fused into the stone wall, his face just frozen in an expression of terror. I still remember the horrible sound of grinding stone on stone as his eyes shifted to meet me. There were others half fused to the stone wall, crying in pain for help. Some had limbs missing, perfectly cut off, single straight edges. No blood, although the stumps didn't seem to be cauterized. One man was on the floor in a fetal position, half of him just sunken in, right? Half his face looked up at me and he began to speak to me in barely legible words. You have to help us. Please, for the love of God, please. His pained murmurs quickly grew into a frantic screaming. My wife! Where's my wife? You have to help her! You have to save her! And when he went quiet again, a woman's voice called out a name from the depths of the cave. When he heard it, they both erupted in these agonizing wails. It was the sound of two people who had had their last of their hopes stripped away from them, and animalistic pain sobbing that echoed on the cavern's walls. His arms shot up, clamping down on my leg, painfully. You have to get me out! I can't go back! Please don't let me go back! I grabbed his arm, and his skin, it just shifted under my grip like wet clay. I pulled, but he wouldn't budge. I pulled, and his arm socket popped wetly as it dislocated. His arms tore off like wet paper. When his arm gave way, I fell backwards, smashing my head against the stone. I passed out. When I woke up, the cave was silent. I was the only one there. So I climbed out and I called the police. The park rangers met me at the hole. They told me the police had deferred the situation to them. Cave had been silent for the past couple of hours as I waited for them to arrive. They went down briefly before coming back up and in a frustrated tone announced that there was no one down there. They suggested I either made up the whole situation or had imagined the whole thing. As they escorted me out of the woods to my car, they told me to leave, told me to never come back. They said they'd arrest me if they ever saw me again. But as I'm sitting here writing this down, I know I couldn't have made it up. I still got the keys. Hey there kids, it's me, MrCreepyPasta, and before we say goodnight, I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching tonight's video, or for listening to tonight's episode of the podcast. For those of you guys who are looking for a nice warm drink, my wife happens to sell tea. That's etsy.com/ivorymonocletea. There's a whole bunch of different teas there that are based on some of your favorite things like horror, things like fantasy, things like Dungeons and Dragons, and of course, there is a creepypasta-based tea. There is the Dark and Stormy Night, which is my personal favorite, the one that I like to drink whenever I'm doing my recordings. And if you guys want to get a special MCP dabbing sticker, make sure to ask her for one whenever you order the Dark and Stormy Night. As always, I want to give a very big thank you to everybody who supports me on Patreon, patreon.com/MrCreepyPasta. People such as Diana Kraus, AcidSystem, Benjamin 2003, Blake Rattler, Bottle Coolant, Brandon Mendoza, Caltuna, CoryxKenshin, Dakota Best, Daniel Poulsen, Dante Kinkade, Enchanted Buns, Eric Anthony Caruso, Estebean, 15 Squirrels in a Trench Coat, Galaxy Gremlin, Hazy's Nephew, himbojerry, Our Minute Second Time, Jay Kearns, Jedis Pet, Lou Cypher, Nick MC, Plant Piss, Red Shadowcat, Remember the Sun, Salty Surprise, Samara Lynn, Scary Stories Fuel Me 32, Seclude, Simba's Bloody Mojo, Sky Harbor, Smiley the Psychotic, Sully Man, Polly Sue, Team Leo 76, The Chavez Brothers, The Ginger Bros, Tommy Walters, Viceroy Scorn, William Wellington, X Reaper 69, XX Lucky Cat XX, Zabold, Shadow Gardens, and Peaceful Buddha. Thank you all so much for being here. And as always, sweet dreams.